In this video tutorial, we are going to look at social groups as part of social studies. Stay tuned. So, groups within societies. Society is made up, or groups can be broken down into two major groups in society, and they are the primary groups and secondary groups. So, what makes up society? Groups is what makes up society, and a group can be as small as two people and can be as large as a nation. What makes a social group? Four things makes a social group. Two or more people, interaction among members, members have shared expectation, members must share a common identity. And an example of this is, for example, a cricket team. So there are two or more members in a cricket team. They must interact with each other. They have shared expectation, maybe to win tournaments, and members must share a common identity. So they all identify to a particular group, right? Or a particular team. For example, the Trinidad Knight Riders. What is an aggregate? This is the same as a group, but it lacks organization. It do not plan interaction. For example, passengers on an airplane. So a group of people buy a plane ticket and is taking a plane ride. This is a group of people and it is called an aggregate because they are not destined to interact with each other, but at the same time, they share a common goal of going to the same destination. And it can be considered a social category or a way of classifying people according to shared trait or status. So this social category of flight passengers on an airplane is an aggregate, but it's not the same as a group per se because it lacks organization and people do not need to interact. Size of a group could be a dyad, which is two people who share power in a group. If one person leaves, the group does not exist anymore because if there's only two people in a group, then it wouldn't be a group if one person leaves. We have triad, which is three people who share power in a group and more definite than two person per group, right? If one person leave, the group go down to being a dyad and it still continue. How big or small a group can be. A group can be small enough where each individual can talk to each other face to face, or they can be big enough to share an identity. For example, supporters in a football game. The organization of groups. When we talk about the organization of groups, we're talking about formal structures. So these groups have structure in terms of their hierarchy. So we have a leader. From the leader, we have members, and after members, we have maybe the lower members, right? Or the absent members. Common aspect of formal structure is goals. So formal groups set goals and have activities in place. An informal group now may be a group of friends and they have no structure, neither do they have rules. We have the different types of groups. We have primary groups, and these are small groups who interact over a long period of time and is constantly on a direct and personal basis, very, very intimate and very intense. Example of these primary groups are families and couples. The next type of group we have is secondary groups, and interaction is impersonal, interaction is temporary, interaction is very casual, and individuals in groups can be replaced. For example, a classroom. A child could be transferred out of a classroom and a new child could come into the classroom. The classroom could break up and go to another teacher's class. So it is very casual and temporary. And for example, a political party. Group leaders now. The leaders are those who influence the attitudes and opinions of others, not really there to dominate. Remember, a leader is different from what is a manager. Instrumental leaders are task-oriented persons in the group. So they work based on the amount of tasks the group need to perform. Expressive leaders are the ones who are emotionally oriented and they will look at feelings and how people feel and then judge activity. So we have in groups and out groups. In groups, a person that identifies with and is a part of an in group. And they separate themselves by using clothing, languages and slang and drawings. For example, supporters of a football team or a group of students who belong to a particular part of the school, such as a cheerleader or the music or the band students. Then we have the out group, and these are person who does not identify with the group. We have e-community, group of people who interact strictly on the internet. So video games. So if you go online and play a video game together, this is called e-community. Political blogging, video streaming. So maybe you subscribe to somebody on YouTube, you form their e-community. Online web pages such as MySpace and Facebook. These are where a group of people join and become friends and they form a community, and they are all there for different reasons, but the fact that they are all interacting in one way or the other with each other, they form the e-community. This leads us to social networks, web of relationship that is formed by the sum of a person's interaction with other people, and they have no clear boundaries, they have no rules, and have no sense of identity for the most part. So this again does not even have to be in person, it could be over the internet. So this was a very short lesson to describe the nature of groups. I hope you pause the video and take the necessary notes. When you're done, read the handout that is posted for you and answer all questions. So thank you so much for watching this video tutorial.